Shut the fuck up! Fucker! Move! Damn it!
Hello, 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 fake gamers, and welcome to the broadcast. We are today talking about a game that has hit the bottom of the ocean floor already, and that is, of course, GTA 6. That's right, GTA 6 has already hit the bottom of the ocean floor as Rockstar, quite frankly, well, they weren't able to sustain the hype here for GTA 6. It's been nearly 2 months. Okay, it's been nearly 2 months since the trailer for GTA 6 released back in December. It is now February. And quite frankly, the game is already 6 feet under. The biggest entity in all of entertainment is on the horizon in the coming couple of years. And everyone is, well, they've already moved on to the flavor of the month, flavor of the week. It's so incredibly sad that I can tell you. Very sad, but it's predictable. These fake gamers, they don't clamor for quality. They have certainly no patience. They rush to the game. That is the talk of the town, which it currently is the Suicide Squad. But by next week, that will more than likely change. Luis Hernandez is in the building. Papa the Cherry, that's what we're talking about. Luis Hernandez
super
is in the building. Papa the Cherry.
Saturday stream wouldn't be the same without world class.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but we're talking about a dead game like GTA 6. So, you know, it's a perfect stream. You know, a weekend stream. Everyone's busy on the weekend, not during the weekday, but... So we're talking about GTA 6, and quite frankly, we have static in the audio. Well, not sure what to tell you on that. Well, I could expose a few people here on the air, but I'm not interested in more drama, so I'm just going to be the better man. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk to the AI, since it's hard to have conversations in here with you guys, unfortunately.
I hear you. I'm here for you. What's going on?
Yeah, what do you think about GTA 6?
6. Exciting stuff. There's a lot of buzz around it. What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, could you tell me more about the game?
Sure thing. GTA 6 is the latest installment in the Grand Theft Auto series. It's expected to have a new location, characters, and improved graphics.
Okay. Well, that's not updated. That is not updated to the current 2024 model. That is not updated to the current 2024 model. The energy in here as of February has been abysmal, and I don't know how to fix it. I could ask, you know, that you could bring a bit more energy to these streams, but there's nothing that I can do. When you guys are tired, I'm tired, okay? It's a two-way street. This relationship ain't going to work if you can't communicate and if you can't, you know, be there when I'm there for you. So, you know, we're just going to have to figure it out together and in a way that makes sense. But right now, it's not looking too hot. The chat's already dead. There's no momentum. Luis Hernandez is the only one that supports the show. You know, I could go on and on and on. But there's no point because ain't nobody listening. So I've never seen it like this before. I've really never seen it like this before. You don't care about any game I talk about. I talked about the Suicide Squad for 4 days, 5 days plus. Didn't give a shit about that game. We're here talking about GTA 6. Oh, there's nothing to talk about. We don't give a shit about that game. Then just leave or I'll ban. It's as simple as that. You know, we'll find a new audience. It's fine. You know, we've been through cycles of audiences for the past 4 years. And quite frankly, this current audience just isn't really doing much of anything. You know, they can't conversate. They're scared to chat. They're losers. Absolute degenerates. That's what's going on in here. You know, could never be me. I'm never going to show up to a stream and then not participate. That's fucking disrespectful and rude. Take your time elsewhere because I don't want you to be a part of this. If you're not going to fucking do anything, you can't even talk. You can't even communicate. And it's like, I'm out here outside. No one else is going to do that for you. I can fucking guarantee you that. And, you know, you don't respect the time that I put into this because you think it's a fake job. Cool. Well, what you do isn't really all that much more fucking cool. I'll tell you that. It's ridiculous. You guys want to have conversations. You want to, you know, oh, when's the next stream? When's the next stream? I can call people out right now. 3 people. When's the next stream? When's the next stream? By the way, are they in here? No, they're not. It's like you guys click on things you hate. It's a love-hate relationship, obviously, because, you know, you guys click on stuff that you just obviously don't like. And it's not even hate watching. It's just like some weird fucking thing where it's like, well, you kind of like the show, but you kind of like want to stay in the shadows. And it's like, well, that's not helping me. I could pre-record these and just, you know, because we don't have any viewers anyway. We should have 300 plus viewers. Get people in here. Share it on V. I mean, don't do that because you'll get IP banned. But I mean, if you want to do that, you know, that's up to you, of course. But we need to get people in here because this energy is absolute trash from top to bottom. You know, you guys don't want to discuss GTA 6. You don't want to discuss the Suicide Squad. You know, we were thinking about booting up Persona 3 later tonight, but I'm only going to do that if people show up. If people don't show up, I have no desire to play that song. So if you guys can't help but, if you can't tune in, then I don't know what to tell you.
Curtis,
that's what we're talking about. Ryan Curtis is coming through hard and strong. Ryan Curtis is in the building. That's what we're talking about. Ryan Curtis coming through hard and strong with a $20 super chat. That's what we're talking about, bud. Ryan Curtis is in the building. And glad to see you here. Ryan Curtis is in the building here, and in a way that makes sense with a $20 super chat. Ryan Curtis in the building. Hit the like button for World Class out here. Share the stream if you can. That would help tremendously. Seems like every other streamer is botting these days, and that's what's going on because, you know, I see some of these cats have 400 plus viewers, and it's like, no, you don't have 400 plus viewers because they got way less subscribers than me. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No, I'm going to play Persona because if that brings folks in, then I'll go home and I'll download Persona 3 and we'll play it later tonight because I've already gotten the same. You know, there's people in here that cannot handle my opinion on Persona 3. That's what you've already said. So we're going to play it. Do play Persona 3. It's my favorite game. Cool. We're going to play it. So I guess you won't be showing up because you're obviously sensitive. Oh, Persona 3, I don't play those games, so yeah, it's probably not my cup of tea, but nonetheless, you know, that doesn't mean that I can't play it.
It's over!
Fremont coming through, that's what we're talking about.
Freedomlander _101 super chatted €5. Do you think the next GTA 6 trailer will revive the overall hype?
No.
Hope it does.
Nope, I really don't. I really don't. I think there will be hype for about a week or so, just like there was with this, and that's it. It really depends on what they show, of course, and it really depends on, you know, if there is a release date. If there's not a release date after trailer 2 and there's still a vague window on when the game could be coming out, then quite frankly, the hype is going to diminish like it is right now. I mean, this thing is fucking dead. Ryan Curtis is coming through yet again. Holy fucking shit. Let's get some dubs in that chat. Come on, baby. Ryan fucking Curtis is out here hard and strong. Ryan Curtis is out here, the rock star fucking Ryan Curtis. That's what we're fucking talking about, baby. Ryan Curtis is out here. Beautiful Saturday. Ryan fucking Curtis is in the fucking building, baby. That's what we're talking about. Ryan Curtis is in the building. Unbelievable. Coming through hard and strong with the Bruce Wayne bucks on the damn table. Someone's writing a paragraph, and I'm not reading that. You disrupted the whole show by writing a fucking paragraph, bud. You want me to pause the show and read that whole fucking paragraph because your mother doesn't love you? I'm not doing it. Ryan Curtis certainly loves, though, and that's what we're talking about. Ryan Curtis is in the building, coming through hard and strong with a massive back-to-back $20 super chats. That's what we're talking about. Ryan Curtis in the building, coming through hard and strong. Ryan Curtis coming through hard and strong. Holy shit. Kicking things off here in a way that makes sense. We got better audio for you today. Yesterday, people were bitching about the audio, yet they weren't listening anyway. So today we should have a lot better audio. It was pretty windy yesterday, but nonetheless, today we have better audio. Here comes the truck, 18-wheeler. You probably can barely hear it. 18-wheeler, that's what we're talking about. So GTA 6 is dead from hype to just dead. And with that said, we can go ahead and watch the trailer again because there's nothing else to do. So let's go ahead and watch the GTA 6 trailer here and see how the cookie crumbles.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
It's over!
Now they want to come through.
Ryan Curtis super chatted
Holy fucking shit, Ryan Curtis is in the building. Holy fucking shit. This is unbelievable. Ryan Curtis is in the building. Let's get some balloons out here for you, bud. Ryan Curtis coming through, confetti. Let's get you them fireworks. Ryan Curtis is coming through like the fucking champ, the rock star that he certainly is. Ryan Curtis in the motherfucking building. Hit that like button for Ryan Curtis. He's coming through single-handedly, scooping it up in a way that makes sense. Unlike ever before, Ryan Curtis coming through hard and strong with a 3-time Tony Hawk combo. Let's get that motherfucking dub in the motherfucking chat for Ryan Curtis. Okay? Ryan Curtis is out here because you can't beat because you're a fake fan. Imagine being a fake fan and in your basement. Could never be me because I'm a virgin. That made no sense. All right, Ryan Curtis coming through hard and strong in the face of adversity. That's what we're talking about. Let's get that dub in that chat. Come on. We could do better than this. The energy in here has to pick up. The energy in here has to pick up. And hopefully these guys that want to collab, hopefully they say yes, because you know what? At this point, we're going to need some help. So with that said, Ryan Curtis coming through really hard and really strong here as we continue watching the GTA 6 trailer.
Who's back?
The only thing...
Get through this.
There he is, the Florida Joker!
Being a team.
The Florida Joker! The Florida Joker! Trust. Oh my God. No release date. No release date. Yeah, I bet, by the way. Coming 2025. Yeah, I really don't know if I believe that one. Let's go to the Florida Joker. Quite frankly, he should sue. Parody, by the way. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's obviously him. There's no one else like that in Florida. You know, I don't know what it says there in Espanol, but that's literally the Florida Joker. You know, they're using his likeness for profit. They didn't get his consent. You know, quite frankly, I mean, that's the typical Rockstar way. You know, the GTA 4 actor only got paid $100,000 for his work on the game for however long. You know, what was it, 15 months or something like that? And then GTA 4 goes on to make millions, and he didn't get any residues. He didn't get any royalties or anything like that. So they screwed him over. I think they also screwed over CJ, who played, or whatever his name is, I can't remember his name, but the guy who plays CJ in San Andreas, I think they screwed him over too with the low pay, low ball Lonnie special, really, quite frankly. And it's like they want you to do all this work in this game so that the game can go on to make fucking millions, and at this point it's a $1 billion game. And, hopefully they treat their actors a little bit better now, I'm sure. But it doesn't seem like it. I mean, Michael and Franklin, they're still milking their fame from a game that came out 13 years ago. And, quite frankly, they should have done that a long time ago. I don't know why they just now started to do that within the last few years. Because they're going to be irrelevant once this game does come out. And this is the final, 2 years here where they can milk that. Because GTA 5 is, going to be old news at that point when this game does release. So if I were Michael and Franklin, obviously Trevor doesn't give two shits about any of this. And that's kind of based. I mean, quite frankly, he shouldn't have to sit there and say that, this is all I'm known for. I'm known for this comic book game that incels play. That's just not what he wants to be known for. He wants to be known for more serious, more credible roles in the industry. And I have nothing but respect for Trevor, Michael Ogg, or whatever his name is. Because quite frankly, I wouldn't want to be known for one role in a video game. We get typecasted and you don't have any other work lined up, and then you just got to go to these conventions and pretend like you're some hotshot for these incels. And that's what happened to the guy who played Arthur Morgan. What's his name? Roger Clark. He came out of the woodwork. No one knew who he was. He was a total hobo. And I'm not saying his performance was trash in Red Dead 2. It's certainly not. But it's certainly not as good as people, I think, make it out to be. However, with that said, he hasn't really been doing anything, as of note, to my knowledge, since Red Dead Redemption 2, however many years ago, from 2018. So basically what happens is that once you're in this game, and this will happen to Jason and Lucia as well, unless they're already previously established actors, is that this game will come out and then they'll just kind of milk it and do these convention festivals and all this other stuff, autographs, and just kind of bask in the glory of being in GTA 6. But, the Florida Joker, quite frankly, this is... I can't blame the Florida Joker for looking at this and writing it out because, if Rockstar is going to make money off you, fuck it. Why don't you milk the fucking GTA 6 phenomenon? If Rockstar is going to make millions off of your likeness, in which they didn't get approval for, they didn't ask him, obviously. I'd be kind of upset too. It's like, well, it's cool that you're in the game on one hand, but at the end of the day, what's in it for me? Fame? Yeah, fame from 5 incels. This game is dead. This game is literally dead. The Florida Joker is carrying this game. The Florida Joker is carrying this game. Without, hey, GTA, we gotta talk, my Jewish lawyer. That's what I'm saying. The Florida Joker is carrying this game. 2 months since the trailer, and it's totally dead. And I told you guys, I said if Rockstar, they're going to pull the curtain back too soon, they're going to show us the trailer, and then they're going to go quiet for another fucking year. And that's what's happened here. Oh, everyone's anticipating trailer 2. No, they're not. No one's asking for trailer 2 because this trailer was underwhelming. This trailer was a sizzle reel of kind of nothing. Oh, it's got better graphics. Cool. What's the big gimmick here? What is the big gimmick for GTA 6? No one can answer that question because it doesn't have a gimmick. We've waited 12 years. And if you look at the span of Rockstar Games within 12 years from 2001 to, I can't do math, but you can do the math there. From 2001 when GTA 3 came out and you add 12 years to 2001. I can't do that math, but it's probably 2012 or 2020, 2013. So right around there, you're talking all of the releases from Rockstar within that 12-year span. Now we get one game. And this one game is supposed to be revolutionary, and it very well could. But the trailer certainly didn't showcase any of that. So what do you want me to get excited for? Well, we know it's coming. We knew it was coming. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that this game was coming. So did we really need that confirmation? Did we really need that confirmation that GTA 6 was on the horizon? Anyone with a brain could have figured out, yes, this is obviously in the works. GTA 5 is a fucking PS3 game at its core, and with that said, they're going to have to figure it out in a way that makes sense. So, did they need to show the trailer last year? No, they did not. Why did they show the trailer? I'm not so sure why they did it, but nonetheless, the trailer was shown about 2 months ago, and it's totally dead. And that's why I think they could have waited until the spring of this year, and the wait would have been a little bit less, and quite frankly, I think it would have been a little bit better because the 2025 tagline at the end would have hit a little different if the trailer released this year, and it would have made it seem like there's only a year wait, when there still could be a 2-year wait. I mean, we don't know when in 2025 this is releasing, but if I had to guess, I'm going to assume fall 2025. So we're talking almost 2026. Why did they show the trailer? 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 You know, in October of last year...
It's over!
In October of last year, the hype for this was at an all-time high. And then once October came and gone...
Lesbian super chatted $4.99. MDL, we gotta talk. Woman breastfeeding, baby.
GTA,
Woman
we gotta
breastfeeding,
talk.
baby.
That's what we're talking about. Who's got that Apple Vision Pro? Put that headset on and walk around outside. You get 1 million views. So if you have the headset, make sure you milk it because not everyone's going to be able to check that headset out. It's a very expensive headset. It's not like the Quest 3, which is only like $500. Not that that's not expensive. It kind of is pricey. But with that said, the Apple Vision Pro is like 4K, and that's a pretty big difference there. And as such, that's going to limit who can get it. And if you do have it, make sure you make content because that's what people want to see, at least for now. Bald lesbian coming through. That is what we're talking about. So with that said, the Florida Joker is literally carrying this game. And every time he makes a video, everyone picks up on it because the game itself is dead. No one is talking about the game. It is totally dead. Oh, there's nothing to talk about, Michael. There's nothing. Oh, there's plenty to talk about. There's plenty to talk about surrounding this release and the disaster that this could, this release could very well could be. So let's get into that. Now, we've talked about this before, but no one wanted to listen, so we're going to have to come back to this. But this is the problem. One of the problems with GTA 6 is that the talent is gone. Now, the current narrative for the Suicide Squad was that the talent at Rocksteady is no longer the same team and that the co-founders left. Okay, well, here we are with GTA 6. The talent is gone. Michael Unsworth, okay, he departed Rockstar in 2023. Dan Houser, the co-founder of Rockstar Games. Dan Houser, the co-founder of Rockstar Games, departed Rockstar in 2020. Okay? Laszlo Jones. Laszlo Jones has been on the radio and a producer for these games since GTA 3 all the way to GTA 5. He's even in GTA 5. You chase him in one of the missions. Nonetheless, Laszlo Jones, big essential part of the GTA franchise and the history of this franchise, departed Rockstar in 2020. And guess where these cats went? Laszlo Jones, he went with Dan Houser. Okay. Imran Sarar, he departed Rockstar in 2019. This guy's been at the studio since the very beginning almost. I believe Vice City, I can't remember fully. But with that said, Imran Sarar, he was the main designer on Red Dead Redemption 2. Everyone in this chat loves Red Dead Redemption 2. The main designer for your favorite game is gone. And you cannot tell me that that does not have an effect on GTA 6, because it certainly does. Okay? Next, but certainly not least, the lead technical designer, the lead technical program, Adam Fowler, gone. Departed Rockstar in 2015. He was the last of the 3 key technical directors. You guys don't care about any of these people that made this game, and yet you want to claim to be a fan. That's like saying I'm a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers, but I only care about LeBron James. You don't care about anyone else that assists LeBron James? The team isn't just LeBron James. They work as a cohesive unit to make the fucking ball go into the basket. Okay? You can't tell me that GTA 6 is going to be a masterpiece when the key talent is gone. Oh, you don't care. Well, that sounds like a you problem. You're very entitled. It's time to get out of the basement and go touch grass. And certainly not least, Leslie Benzies departed Rockstar in 2014. There was a massive fallout there. Leslie Benzies departed Rockstar in 2014. Now, here's the thing. I made this a long time ago, and there's a few other people that we've noticed that are no longer at Rockstar as well. So this is a massive thing, and no one's talking about it. No one is talking about it because no one cares. But this will be the narrative. If this game does suck, this will be the narrative in 2 years from now. We're just 2 years ahead of the game. And as such, this will be the narrative for GTA 6 if the game is trash and it's woke and it's censored and it doesn't evolve or revolutionize the genre that it's in. This will be the narrative, and I can guarantee you that. So, you know, I'm not saying the game is automatically trash because these developers are gone and producers are gone. But with that said, you cannot come out of the woodwork and undermine and sit there and say that they had no contributions to this experience. Kyle, can you string together a sentence? Did you graduate high school? Can you string together a sentence? Did you graduate high school? I graduated high school. I'm not even sure how because I don't even know my multiplication table. It's the American school system for you. But nonetheless, it seems like you can't string together a sentence. Well, I remember in grammar school, English class, the teacher said it is a sentence. So if you put it is, period, that is an actual sentence, technically. So there you go. You could type that in the chat here because what you're doing is spamming emojis as if that's contributing to the conversation out here. It isn't. And it's getting old. Okay. We're going to back it up. We're going to go ahead and watch the trailer again. How are we doing on audio?
Lucia,
How are we doing on
do
audio?
you know why you're here?
How are we
Bad
doing
luck,
on
I guess.
audio? We got to turn that down. There we go. Got to turn that down. She told me she didn't love, and it's the saddest it's been. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be, and we were desperate then to have each other to hold, but love is a long, long road. Love is a long, long road.
The only way we can get through this is by sticking together, being a team.
Oh, shit! What a joke this is. Look at this and ask yourself, is this really what you wanted? Is this really what you wanted? You damn well know the answer is no. But you have to accept this because this is the new Rockstar. You have to accept this because this industry is on its fucking knees. That's what you wanted? That's what you wanted? That's what you were clamoring for when you thought GTA 6 up in your head? And you imagined what Rockstar could do? That's really what you're going to accept? They look like homeless people. They look like homeless people. These are the main playable characters? They look like homeless people off the streets. And we've downgraded the game from 3 playable characters to 2. Now, granted, that could be better, but we don't know. Because that could allow them to focus a little bit more and make it a little bit more tight. But with that said, we don't know if that's the case. But you come from a PS3 game, 512 megabytes of RAM, and they have 3 playable protagonists, switch simultaneously. Now we're down to 2 playable characters. Now we're down to 2, seemingly, right, from what they're showing us here. There could be 3. I don't fucking know. I mean, I really doubt it. But clearly this trailer is showcasing Jason and Lucia. This trailer is showcasing. If you're going to type a paragraph in there, I'm not reading it, okay? That's one way for me to not read what you're saying. If you can't figure it out, then I'll tell you. But 2 playable characters from what we can see right here in this trailer, Jason and Lucia. And you're going to sit there and tell me this is what you were really clamoring for? A Bonnie and Clyde woke themes? That's really what you were clamoring for? This is the new Rockstar. They're no longer punching down. We saw this with GTA 5 on the PS5. They removed certain NPCs and the dialogue associated with those NPCs because it was too sensitive for this climate. Now, again, we had this conversation before. How do you make GTA 6 in this climate? You can't. That's the answer. You can't do it like you did in the past because it's going to get canceled. So with that said, you have to censor and you have to water this experience down to a point where it's no longer the same GTA that you knew and love. And I guarantee you, when you play this game in about 2 or so years from now, you're going to be mad, you're going to be upset, and it is not going to live up to your expectations in certain regards. Now, in some other regards, in terms of graphics and in terms of the fidelity, I don't think they can mess that up. But with that said, in terms of certain things and certain aspects and certain gameplay mechanics and mini-games and things of that nature, I would not expect all of it to return here in GTA 6. They can claim this is the most ambitious game. They can claim that this is the biggest GTA yet, and that very well could be the case, but right now this trailer ain't showing us a damn thing. You see, this is a Tom Petty sizzle reel. This is a Tom Petty sizzle reel. This is a Tom Petty sizzle reel. And these are the main characters in the game, and this is really what you're excited for? These are the main characters in the game, and this is really what you're excited for? Well, let's go ahead and hit that like button if you're excited for this. Jason and Lucia. This is what you're excited for. Look at Jason. Look at his body. He's like 400 pounds. He's an incel in his basement. This is really what you're excited for? After 12 years? After 12 years of waiting, this is really getting you foaming at the mouth? After 12 years, you're going to sit there and say, yes, Rockstar, this is incredible. Thank you so much. Is this really what you were clamoring for? Because this project seems like it's just barely hitting kind of the minimal requirements here. You look at that trailer and you have to ask yourself, what is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? What do you want? What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? Stop talking about me and my show and start talking about the video game, okay? Because what you're doing is off-topic conversation, and we're not allowing that in here. Go take your Dear Diary shit elsewhere, okay? We're talking about the goddamn video game. You tuned in, you damn well knew what it was all about, as it's pretty clear what it's all about. So you need to get it back on track, bud. So this is the first GTA where you're playing as Lucia. So, yep. The game is not even out yet. Okay, but you can't. Okay, but it goes both ways. You see how this works? It goes both ways. So you could argue, yes, you can't bitch about something that's not yet available, but you also, in my opinion, can't hype this up to the moon and back because you haven't fucking played it. You act like this is already a guaranteed success. Well, it is in certain areas. You know, this is going to sell like hotcakes. We don't give a shit about that. You know, because if you're going to use that metric in terms of deciding and deciphering what is quality, then that means that Justin Bieber is a certified, objectively great musician because Justin Bieber sells a lot of records. So if you're going to sit there and say that this game is going to sell millions of copies on release day, you're probably not wrong. But with that said, does that mean that the game is great? In my opinion, the answer is no. Because you guys don't think that Justin Bieber is a great musician despite his sales. Justin Bieber has sold a ton of records, okay? Justin Bieber is a very, still to this day, very popular musician. And with that said, if you were to use your logic, then that would mean that anyone, any movie for that matter, anything that is popular is good. And I know you don't agree with that. So you can't just sit there and say that this game is automatically amazing, that this game is automatically the best thing since sliced bread, when first of all, you haven't played this game. And secondly, you can't just say that because, well, we already know it's going to sell 1 million plus copies fucking day one. We understand that, we get that. It's popular. Okay, that doesn't mean it's necessarily great. Turn on the radio and listen to 5 great songs. You won't find any. You'll find all that garbage-ass music that's not even really music. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, but we don't know if we don't know what the social media aspect is all about. It is heavily featured here in this trailer. It is heavily featured here in this trailer. It is heavily featured here in this trailer. But at the end of the day, do any of us know to what extent that is going to be implemented in? If it's anything like I think it is, then the game will have the upper hand in terms of, yes, this is bringing something new to the table. Yes, this is kind of revolutionary. But right now, that remains to be seen. So we're going to have to at least wait until probably trailer 2 to get maybe a better understanding of what that's all about. Ryan Curtis says, I'm not sure the format of modern open Rockstar Games is going to allow innovation except for adding detail and slowing down the experience to a slog unless it's a total overhaul. Well, that's what I fear. I think they're going to look at the Red Dead 2 stuff, and I don't know if they're going to slow it down to that extent because that's a Western. It's obviously set back in the past. So with that said, I don't think it's going to be that slow. But I do believe it is going to be a bit different, and there's going to be more animation-based things. So when you pick things up, you know, your character's going to kneel down and pick it up, right? And that's not a thing in GTA 5, you know? GTA 5 is a 360 PS3 game, and, you know, it's a very different layout now in terms of power and in terms of hardware and in terms of player base and this, that, and the third. So the game will inherently be slower if there's more animations that need to play out. Now, they could speed them up, but they still have to look realistic in a certain sense. So, you know, are they going to get inspired from Red Dead Redemption 2? Well, if they do, hopefully they do in a way that makes sense, because Red Dead Redemption 2 is a slow game, and you do have to have patience for it. And it does make sense for that type of experience, but quite frankly, I don't know about no GTA 6. So, okay, we know this game is going to be woke. The studio has changed. We can get the articles up on the screen if that's what's needed. Okay, this is a totally different Rockstar. We can play Manhunt 1 tonight, and I guarantee you the majority of people that worked on Manhunt 1 are no longer at Rockstar North, right? That's what I'm telling you. The studio has changed. They went through a cultural sort of shift. You know, it was a frat boy culture workplace, and now it's a little bit more professional. And as such, I think the quality of the product will suffer. You know, I'm not saying a toxic environment breeds, you know, perfection, but at the same time, if your workplace is sterile and it's like a doctor's office, ain't nobody going to be fucking inspired to do anything. You know what I mean? So, you know, they don't believe in crunch anymore. So what's there to be excited for? It sounds like they have no momentum or motivation, rather, to put this together. We know the talent is gone. Michael Unsworth departed Rockstar in 2023. Dan Houser, the co-founder of Rockstar Games, departed in 2020. Laszlo Jones, he's been on the radio since GTA 3 all the way to GTA 5, and he's even in GTA 5, and he wrote a lot of the stuff surrounding the game, and I think the radio ads and stuff like that. Laszlo Jones, massive key player in this whole thing since the inception, GTA 3, the 3D era. Gone at Rockstar in 2020. Amar Sarar, this guy, I think mission designer for Vice City, and then worked his way up all the way to Red Dead 2. Main designer on Red Dead 2. Lead designer, I believe, on Red Dead 2. Departed in 2019 through the towel in, or they fired him. I'm not entirely sure. Adam Fowler, lead technical programmer. Adam Fowler, gone. His last game was obviously GTA 5. Leslie Benzies, you know, it's not going to be the same without him. Leslie Benzies was a massive producer, and this will be the first GTA without Leslie Benzies. But they had a falling out, so I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, if you really think, and you know, look, we'll you know, I'm not saying I'm not hyped for this game, but you know, I'm not going in with blind hype just because the trailer's, you know, good graphics and, you know, they threw together this sizzle reel. You can't name one thing in this game that's never been done before. The only thing that we could think of right now is the social media aspect, but to what extent that plays out, I have no idea. No one does right now. Which it was heavily featured here in this trailer, and the only way to really make that make sense is to create this neural, truly dynamic social media kind of network within the game that has nothing to do with the online, nothing to do with GTA Online. That's not what we're talking about. This is all single player. This is all story. We're not talking about online. We're talking about a system within the game, kind of like Radiant AI, where it can just kind of go off on its own and do its own thing. And the NPCs, you know, if they can program something where the NPCs have this trigger effect where they see something happening within the world, they pull their phone out, and then you can go on the in-game internet and you can watch the video. Or, like I said, and again, all of this sounds crazy, but you're going to have to work with me, because if this game does not have any of this stuff, then what's the point of making it? You know, we have to evolve it in a way that makes sense outside of just graphics and this, that, and the third. So when you go to something like this, this says it's live, okay? This says it's live on the bottom there. Now, what does that really mean? Does that mean that this is live in the game world and that you can go to that location as it's actually happening? Because if that's what's happening, and it's truly dynamic in a certain sense, and these are randomly generated events, then you do have a game here that is going to provide endless content. You do have a game here, and it can be done. Because you look at Bethesda and what Bethesda has done. What do they call that in Skyrim? They have endless quests in Skyrim. And I can't remember what that's called, but they have endless quests in Skyrim. So you can go back and play. You can play Skyrim forever. When Todd Howard said that, he was not lying. You could still be playing Skyrim, and there's going to be new content. Because they developed a system that, you know, it's not great, but you're still having more to do. And that's what's going to have to happen here with this game here. Well, you're not listening. Unrealistic expectations. How is it unrealistic expectations? They've already done it in Skyrim. What are you talking about? How is it unrealistic expectations? This is a $2 billion budget game. This is Rockstar Games. So what do you want in this game? You want a downgrade? You want a watered down GTA? You want a censored, woke version of GTA? Oh, it's got great graphics, Michael. That's all that I need. I'm excited. No. This is what this is going to have to be. She's holding the hammer. They're broadcasting it live. What if you could go to that location and the NPC is actually filming her, and that triggers an event? But it can't be scripted in the sense that it's just, oh, this is the new Strangers and Freaks. No. See, that's where this will fall off for me. Because if that's what they're doing here, you know what the Strangers and Freaks missions are, right? The question marks on the map. Okay, what if that's really what this is? It's just been repackaged for the modern era. And instead of looking at the questions on the map, there's going to be the social media stuff. And they've already had the social media stuff to a certain extent in the game in GTA 4 and GTA 5. But it's nothing like what I'm thinking. You're really going to have to evolve this and push it forward in a way that makes sense. And if this is just a repackaged Strangers and Freaks kind of type missions, then that's going to be boring. And you're eventually going to run out of these. Because if they're totally scripted, then it doesn't make sense. All of these animations need to be AI generated. You know, we just heard rumors like within the past few days from these GTA 6 clickbaiters that Rockstar was working on this new system that is going to help with animation systems and blending and all of that stuff through AI. So if they can just generate this and there's an endless pool, you're going to have endless content in this game. And the city will truly be alive, and Vice City will be unlike any other open world game ever created. Okay? What I'm thinking of can be done. It's just a matter of, is Rockstar, this new B team at Rockstar, can they pull it off in a way that makes sense? I'm not saying the whole engineering department is gone. I don't know that, okay? But with that said, the key players are gone. The key producers are gone. Some of the key writers are gone. Things of that nature. And will the game suffer? Well, that remains to be seen. But now we're at this point where the game is totally dead, and we're waiting for Trailer 2, and Trailer 2 is probably not happening anytime soon. We're talking probably late this year. November of 2024, if I had to guess. December of 2024, if I had to guess. There's no reason to rush out Trailer 2 because this game is not coming out this year, and it's probably not coming out. And again, I'm just guessing, but it's probably not coming out early 2025 because if it were, there would be a sense of urgency to push this one out a little bit harder and faster. Drew Dave coming through. That's what we're talking about. Drew Dave coming through.
Drew Dave super chatted $20. After the day before flopped, I lost faith in game developers. To 6 is going to be a poop mess on release. Unfinished cock-a-poo-poo stinky smelly fart.
Amazing,
ha,
amazing,
ha, ha.
riveting super chat. Yeah, amazing humor there. Really, I'm just laughing out here. Well, nonetheless, we appreciate it. Drew Dave coming through with a $20 super chat. Really riveting super chat there. Really added a lot to the conversation. The day before, by the way. If you thought that game was going to be anything but what it was, then you're an idiot. I'm surprised it even existed, to be honest. But nonetheless, no. What I'm thinking of is easily. I mean, I already told you, Skyrim did it in 2011 on PS3 hardware. You need to listen in here, okay? We need Harvard-level graduates in here, higher-level thinkers, because at this rate, we're talking to a bunch of people that just aren't listening. They say they're listening, but they're not really listening. It's going in one ear and out the other. And I already said, Skyrim has this feature. You just repackaged, and again, you know, Bethesda's not Rockstar, I understand it, but if Bethesda can pull it off, you literally have endless content in Skyrim. That's one thing the game has going for it. You can go to the Dark Brotherhood or any other faction, and they will give you quest after quest after quest after quest after quest. It does not end. Now, it is very generic, and it is not worth really playing, but nonetheless, if you're super bored of the game and you have the vanilla non-modded Skyrim, you can go in there, and like Todd Howard said, it is endless. Now, I don't know if they brought that to Starfield because, well, Starfield was so trash, there was no reason to play more to even see that. It was a snooze fest. But nonetheless, that was certainly in Skyrim. You had Radiant quests or whatever that's called. They were just randomly generated, and it wasn't anything unique, it wasn't anything special, but it gave the player something more to do, endless content. So you could still be doing those missions, and they would, you know, I mean, I don't know if they eventually recycle. I'm not entirely sure. But with that said, I know it never ends because that's the whole point of it. So if you have a system like that here for the social media system where the game is just randomly generating, you're going to need to listen. This is outside of the box thinking here. These are not missions. These are not strangers and freaks missions. Okay, if they are, I'm going to be very disappointed because there's going to be a limited amount of these things. And that's stupid because then you're going to run out of content within the open world, and then they want you to go to the online and get these shark cards and all this other crap and play this role play stuff. No, that's not what we want to do. We want to have the endless content right there within the single player experience. But then again, is that a smart move? Because who would, you know, if they were to provide endless content in the single player, who's going to then jump over to the multiplayer? Some people wouldn't. Some people would say, you know what? They've offered endless content here in the single-player experience. Why would I want to go over to GTA Online? So they don't want to cannibalize potential players to GTA Online. So maybe this system is in the game, but it certainly is a limited amount. Guys, this is something that can be done. It's Rockstar. It's a $2 billion budget. If anyone's going to be able to pull it off, it's going to be Rockstar. I am thinking that these are randomly generated events within the game world happening in real time. Randomly generated events. Not missions, not strangers and freaks. Okay? Randomly generated events that happen in the game. And you can go to these locations. If they're broadcasting live, you can go to these locations and you can see it play out. And that would be the next evolution. That would be the revolution that we are clamoring for because that would be unprecedented. Yeah, hit the like button. Let's get people in here. Let's get people in here. They're putting all of their money into the online? Well, we don't know. We don't know the plans for this game. We don't even know really what the fucking storyline is for this game. There's just a lot of question marks still surrounding this game. You know, the fan base only has this to work with in terms of figuring out things and the map and the size of the map and, you know, how the story is going to ultimately unfold and this, that, and the third. But with that said, you're going to have to understand that there's one thing that this game needs. And this trailer isn't necessarily, at least clearly presenting that. This game needs a gimmick. This game needs a hook. You can't just put out the same GTA with better graphics and call it a day. When has Rockstar ever done that? When has Rockstar ever done that? You could argue GTA 3 to Vice City isn't a revolution. but they've added things in that made sense, and they were limited by the PS2 hardware. And then you look at the culmination of all of it, San Andreas. San Andreas added so much content. San Andreas had a ton of content. San Andreas had a ton of content, okay? And San Andreas was the pinnacle of the PS2 era before they went into the HD era. Now, the HD era, they scaled things back and they downgraded a ton of features, and we're not going to get into that here because no one cares. But with that said, and GTA 4 is good in its own right. They added the physics system, and that was a great thing because the animations were, they've dated. Playing San Andreas in 2024 is, oh man, the animations are just not really all that fantastic, especially after, GTA 4 added the Euphoria physics system. Okay, you can't just type in, let's move the chat. You're adding nothing to the conversation. Maybe add something to the conversation in here and people will instinctively move the chat. You can't just say, let's move the chat. You can't just say, let's hit the like button. That's just not how it works. I could sit there and say, hit the like button until I'm blue in the face. It's not going to work. Why don't you talk about the game that you apparently care so much for? Well, that's obviously not true. And, I'm right yet again. The game is 6 feet under. It's trash. The key talent is gone, and that's one of the narratives for the Suicide Squad is that Rocksteady fell off because the co-founders over at Rocksteady left, and the narrative is that they didn't want this. That's why they left. Well, we don't really know. Did anyone ask them why they left? We don't really know. You can sit there and surmise, and you can sit there and trying to put the puzzle together yourself, but we don't really know why they left Rocksteady. We don't. It could have been a creative decision. It could have been something else. Nonetheless. They did leave Rocksteady. The co-founders left Rocksteady, and people are just saying, well, they left because of the Suicide Squad. But I'm pretty sure they're credited within the Suicide Squad that they worked on the game because they just left like 2 years ago. So obviously they worked on it to some extent, and maybe there was a creative clash or maybe there's a creative clash halfway through the project or something like that where they said, no, we're done with this, we're leaving, and we just don't know. But the current narrative is that that's why Rocksteady fell off. One of the reasons is that because the co-founders left Rocksteady. Okay, well, if that's the narrative, we're going to run with that narrative here for Rockstar because the key players are gone over at Rockstar. The talent is gone, and it's not just two people. It's more than two fucking people. We're talking, and there's more people that are gone. There's more people that are gone. Than what's listed here. But you have Michael Unsworth. He departed in 2023. I'm not going to sit and read paragraphs. I know you want attention, but that's not how you get attention in here. I'm not going to sit and read paragraphs, okay? I'm tired of seeing that because you want me to pause the show. I'm trying to get on a flow here, and you want me to pause the show and read your whole fucking novel. I'm not doing it. So Michael Unsworth departed Rockstar in 2023. Dan Houser, the co-founder of Rockstar Games, okay? And he went on to make his own studio. And guess who joined him? Laszlo. Laszlo joined him, and there was another guy that joined him here too. I can't remember who it is. I think it is Michael Unsworth. I'm not entirely sure, though. I believe it is. So Michael Unsworth, Dan Houser, Laszlo Jones, they all left Rockstar, and they went and now they're all working together at their own studio that was formed by Dan Houser. So they basically said, fuck Rockstar, we're leaving, from what we can surmise. And that is what is currently happening. So they are making their own things over at that studio from Dan Houser. And Imran Sawar, this guy was the main designer on Red Dead 2. Everyone loves that game. Everyone loves Red Dead Redemption 2, yet you don't care about his contributions to the game. You cannot claim to be a fan of video games. You cannot claim to be a fan of Rockstar if you don't give a shit about the people that made it. Because now, oh, Michael, I don't care. Well, then you don't clamor for quality. It's as simple as that. Adam Fowler departed Rockstar in 2015. Adam Fowler departed Rockstar in 2015. Okay, Adam Fowler was a lead technical director since GTA 3, I believe. Adam Fowler fucking made the 3D, GTA happen. Adam Fowler was responsible for the 3D era of GTA. Like, this is the guy that was assembling the code and making it fucking work. Okay, you're talking about a lead technical director. And there's two other guys that are gone as well. in the technical directing department. So it's not great news. And Leslie Benzies, massive producer. This will be the first this will be the first GTA without Leslie Benzies on board, and that is certainly going to show. So, and again, there was a massive fallout with Leslie Benzies right after the release of GTA 5. But nonetheless, if you want to sit there and say that this game is going to be automatically great because Rockstar does it better, well, we don't know who's working at the studio. They probably have a bunch of new hires, and they're not necessarily that experienced. I mean, I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm just surmising out here. But with that said, you have to substitute those key players there. And I'm not saying everyone at Rockstar is gone. There are some veterans still at the studio. But when you have key talent like that departing, clearly something's wrong. When you have key talent departing, clearly something is wrong. A different era coming through, that's what we're talking about. I would be happy with a longer story and campaign expansions. Well, what we've heard, and again, all of this is just rumor right now, nothing's confirmed, but what we've heard in regards to this game is that GTA 6 might actually be shorter than something. I forgot what game, either Red Dead 2 or GTA 5. They said the campaign of this one might actually be shorter. Now, short and sweet is good, but if that means that they want everyone to just jump into the online because that's where the revolution is in terms of the role-playing aspects and mechanics, then that is going to hurt the single-player experience, and that's not necessarily what we want to see. That's not necessarily what we want to see. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best game you've played since 2018. Nothing has topped it. Okay, well, the lead mission designer is gone. Now, yeah, the lead mission designer is gone. I guess that doesn't matter, though. So when your favorite sports team, when they lose, the quarterback, when they lose the running back, when they lose the head offensive coordinator, when they lose the head defensive coordinator, none of that matters? Is that what you're really saying to me? Because that's a lie. When Kobe Bryant left the Los Angeles Lakers, the impact was felt. When Michael Jordan left the Chicago Bulls, the impact was felt. When Ronaldo retired, or, when he does retire, I don't know if he is or not. I don't watch football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. Like his team isn't going to be the same. So you can't sit there and say that this is automatically going to be this masterpiece. I'm not saying don't be hyped for it, but right now there's little reason to be hyped, and that's why this is already dead. 2 months since this trailer came out, and the damn thing is dead. Oh, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing. Well, then why did they release the trailer? What was the point in releasing 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 the trailer? To shut everyone up and say, yes, it is coming because they were tired of hearing about it? Well, that's sensitive. That's soft. That's what that is. That shows that Rockstar, if that's really why they did it, or if it was to please investors, that's another reason. But if that's really why they did it, they're sensitive and they're woke. Because quite frankly, if they're just going to throw the trailer out to say, yes, shut up about GTA 6, here it is, it's coming in 2025, then they don't have passion. And the whole way they rolled this trailer out was abysmal. They announce it out of nowhere. Then they stay quiet for like 3 weeks, and then the trailer, gets leaked about like 8 or 9, 12 hours before it was supposed to release. And, people talk about it for about, and then now you have the Florida Joker, like, carrying the whole fucking game. It's like the Florida Joker, whenever he comes out with his whole show, everyone's just laughing, and it's like, well, yeah, remember GTA 6? 2 months since the trailer came out, remember GTA 6? There's no reason to get people talking about this game because the conversation has come to a halt. So what's the point in getting people talking about a game that doesn't release anytime soon? It was clearly to shut people up and to say, shut the fuck up and go buy more shark cards. Because quite frankly, that's what it is. Because now people aren't going to talk about GTA 6 anymore because they got what they wanted. They got the trailer and that's it. The meme is dead. Oh, GTA 6, it's a game that doesn't exist. It's a game that doesn't exist. Well, quite frankly, it is a game that doesn't exist. Who cares? We know this game is going to sell millions day one. No shit. It's like Call of Duty. Despite the 5 incels that complain about Call of Duty on the internet, guess what? It has no impact on sales. The normies don't give a shit about what people are bitching about. They want to play Call of Duty. They want to play Call of Duty with their friends. Call of Duty will always sell. Call of Duty is a guaranteed success. That's why there's no innovation, because they don't have to innovate. It is a guaranteed success. That is why there is no innovation, because it is a guaranteed success. There's no risk. It is a guaranteed success. A new Call of Duty comes out, people are buying it day one, no questions asked. That's why they don't have to innovate. And you could argue, well, that's what's happening here with GTA 6. This is now a billion-dollar entity. It wasn't this popular back in the day. GTA 5 is the top, 3 best-selling video games of all time. This game was never this big. It was popular, yes, but it was never that big. It was never on that magnitude. Now it is. And as such, maybe Rockstar plays it safe this time around, because it is a more popular franchise than ever before. Who cares? I was just making the point that, yes, this game is going to sell regardless of quality. That's what I was trying to say, and I was using Call of Duty as an example. This game is going to sell regardless of quality. That's what's going to happen. So whether or not Rockstar hits that home run or it's a massive disappointment, it doesn't matter, because people are buying this shit day one, regardless of quality. Does that make sense? Regardless of quality, people are buying this thing day one. How are you not getting that? So does Rockstar truly have to innovate? Does Rockstar really have to do anything that pushes the medium forward? Well, the old Rockstar would have been very hell-bent on trying to do something like that. But again, this is the B team over at Rockstar. This is the first GTA. It is the B team over at Rockstar. Do we have to go through the entire credits? Because I will, if that's what needs to be done. And we can still see who works at Rockstar. You can't tell me that this game is going to be the same, because it's not. The old Rockstar that you know and love is gone. Just like the old Rocksteady that you knew and love is gone. And that's the reality that people are going to have to face when this game releases. They're going to have to come to that realization that, yes, this is different. Is it changed for the better? We don't know. But this is going to be a different game, especially in the writing department, especially in a lot of the direction. And, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. So when this game releases, the conversation is going to shift. Not everyone's going to be excited for this one. And when they get in this game, and I'm talking as if I played it, and obviously I haven't, so I'm just telling you. We're discussing out here. This could very well be a possibility. But when this game does release in 2025, people are more than likely going to be disappointed. And you might sit there and say, how are they going to be disappointed? Well, it should be pretty apparent and obvious. Mike coming through, that's what we're talking about.
Mike super chatted $5. If this game fails to meet expectations, gaming crash needs to happen.
Okay, but what expectations do you have? What do you want to see in a game like this? I've already basically laid out what I think this game should be with the social media aspect. You have to have a massive... You have to bring something new to the table. You can't just make another GTA 5 2.0 and call it a day, because that's a disgrace. Because how many console generations have we been through? It's a 12-year, 13-year gap, however many years, okay? You can't tell me that the expectations are up here, okay? You can't tell me that you can't just make the same game with better graphics and what is this game bringing new to the table? Have you seen the developers that work over at Rockstar, like what they were saying when this trailer was announced? Just the most cringe garbage. And clearly these are new hires. The veterans have left. And apparently that doesn't matter. You can't compute that in your peanut-sized brain. If Tom Brady left, Tom Brady did leave the New England Patriots. Did the New England Patriots, was the new quarterback as good as Tom Brady? The answer is no. So why can't you wrap your head around this notion, this idea that the fucking founders of essentially this franchise are no longer at the motherfucking studio, and you want to sit there and act like this isn't going to be impacted? It is. But it's amazing, right? The trailer's amazing, and we love the new Tom Petty song. Everyone pretends to be a Tom Petty fan. I bet you bought a fucking Tom Petty shirt now because you think you're a cool Tom Petty fan. You never heard this song before? It's all of these bandwagoner fans that just don't give a shit. The veterans are gone over at Rockstar. The folks that made Red Dead 2, one of them anyway, the fucking mission designer's gone because apparently he was toxic at the workplace. And that's how sensitive and woke the studio has gotten. I'm not saying there's not veterans left, but we don't know if, quote, the B team is ready to step up to the plate and deliver the next iteration of their biggest franchise that put the damn company on the map. And they can sit there and claim the $2 billion budget and shit like that, and it's like, well, how much of that is for marketing? We're talking probably $800 million is for fucking marketing, Because they're going to market the shit out of this game once it's time to do that. Billboards, commercials on television, the whole fucking nine. And that's what you do. But at the end of the day, does that mean that the game is going to be great? You can't just replace we need GTA people in here, okay? The Strangers and Freaks missions. If what I'm seeing on the screen right now, if that's the new Stranger and Freaks missions and there's only about 50 or 100 of these, the game's trash. Because you're going to run out of content. And yet in a game like Skyrim, you have literally endless missions. Todd Howard said, okay? And believe me, Todd Howard says a lot. Todd Howard said you can play Skyrim forever. And he's not wrong. And I'm not talking about mods. So if you can implement that in a PS3 game with their outdated engine from 1995, then clearly something bigger and better can be implemented in the Rockstar advanced game engine. This is the latest version of that engine, $2 billion budget. The talent is gone. But with that said, if they can't make it happen, then it's over. If they can't make it happen, then it's over. If you cannot discuss this game, we're going to wrap this show up. I'm tired of hearing the off-topic chat. The chat needs to be turned off because it's just going to be me and myself out here. That's what it has to be because you cannot relate to this conversation. I don't understand how. We're putting 2 and 2 together here. It's a very simple conversation. I'm not saying the game is trash, but the hype has certainly fell off, and I think everyone can agree. We're not saying that you're not looking forward to it. We're not saying that you shouldn't be looking forward to it. But at the end of the day, the reality is very clear that the hype since 2 months ago is not the same as it was 2 months ago when this trailer first dropped. Now, why is that the case? That's the case because the release date is trash for this game. At the end of the trailer, there was a massive dud that deflated all of the hype, and it said coming in 2025. That was the key thing that really deflated the hype immediately because then no one gave a damn. Now, if it said fall 2024, people would be a lot more hyped and the conversation would be carried all the way into fall 2024. But since they had that deflate moment at the very end of the trailer saying 2025, guess what that means? No one no longer gives a shit. That's what that said. And for some reason, they decided to put that in the trailer. For some reason, they decided to think, hey, yeah, well, the game isn't coming until 2025, but here's the fucking trailer, shut your bitch ass up. That's basically what they said. And it's cringe. It's very cringe because now no one gives a shit about the game. The Florida Joker has more attention than this game itself. The Florida Joker has more attention than this game itself. The Florida Joker has more attention than this game itself. Did Rockstar win? No, they failed. They failed. No one gives a shit about this game because it's not coming out anytime soon. And there's nothing to discuss because Rockstar didn't give us enough to chew on. Rockstar didn't give us enough to chew on. Okay, you can go through this trailer 1 million times and it's not going to get better.
The only way we're going to get through this is by sticking together.
How can you not see this?
Trust.
Trust.
12 years. That's what you get. 12 years. These are the main characters. We went from 3 playable characters, very different characters. These are 2 homeless people, 2 losers, 2 degenerates, and everyone's excited because for the very first time in this franchise history, and people are going to say I'm wrong, but I'm not. I played all of the main games. In GTA, in GTA 3, do you play as a female? No, you do not. If you do, I don't remember. There might be one mission where they switch over, but I don't remember primarily playing as a female. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you have to understand this is the big change. And if this change were happening in 2013, the conversation would be very different. You've waited 12 years for these characters here. You've waited 12 years for these characters here. That's what you've waited for. 12 years. 12 years, folks. You've waited 12 years for Jason and Lucia. You've waited 12 years for Jason and Lucia. This is what you've waited for. Is that really enough? What they're going to have to do, in my opinion, if they really wanted to take this to the next stratosphere. Trailer 2, totally different. Because what if in GTA 6 it were that big? And what if in GTA 6 we're not only going to Vice City, but we're going to Liberty City as well? What if that was trailer 2? We're back in Liberty City. Now that could be exciting. That is next level. But of course, being Rockstar, that's not a priority, right? Because what is trailer 2 really going to show? More of the storyline here? More crazy stuff that happens in Vice City, Florida? A different location in Florida? I mean, honestly, how is this exciting? It's just more of the same. Rockstar doesn't innovate anymore. Rockstar used to release games. You look at the release schedule for Rockstar Games. From 2001 to 2013, how many games have they released? Many games, over a dozen.
It's over.
They don't release games anymore.
Mike Super chatted $5. Smaller projects need a comeback because that way the new devs can show their skills, but every project nowadays needs to be big.
Yeah, every game takes like 8 years to make at minimum. And it's just like, well, as the consumer, as the end user, that is so frustrating. You know The Last of Us 3, they just announced that, right? They just announced The Last of Us 3. Neil Druckmann said there's more to the story. Okay, what does that really mean? And when are we getting The Last of Us 3? Well, guess what? A long time from now. We're talking maybe late PlayStation 6. Because the game's going to take another 8 years to make. Minimum. And I agree. They should make smaller games. And there are studios that are still making smaller games. Capcom is releasing a game almost every fucking year. You know, especially the Resident Evil franchise. They're releasing something nearly every year. And good or bad, it doesn't matter. They're putting shit out. So there are studios that still put stuff out on at least almost a 2-year basis. I mean, Call of Duty releases every year. And the way that Call of Duty figured that out a long, long time ago is they had like 3 different devs on a 3-year dev cycle. You had Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and what is the other one? But you had all of these Call of Duty devs on the game, and they were working while this other studio is working on this one, and then so that's how a Call of Duty game could come out every year. It wasn't just the same fucking studio working and rushing these games out like it is Madden. Madden doesn't have 3 studios. That's why Madden, you know, if they really wanted to, you know, but they don't have to. Madden is American football. It's the National Football League. It sells inherently. No one gives a shit about the actual experience. I mean, obviously people do, but with that said, it's going to sell regardless of quality. It's the National Football League. People have been bitching about Madden for 15 years. Have the sales gone down? The answer is no. The sales haven't gone down. The review score the review score has gone down, but that doesn't matter because that's not affecting the sales, and that's this is it's the video game business. It's not called like let's paint the Mona Lisa and here it is for free.
Orpheus010 super chatted $5. Modders already connected the cities in San Andreas. Rockstar has no excuse.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, look, like I said, I mean, imagine if Trailer 2 was Liberty City. And it surprised everyone because no one would think that. Everyone just thinks that this game is set in Vice City in the state of Florida or whatever the fuck they call it in this game. And, you know, to me, that's just boring. Taking it back to Vice City is kind of boring. What if we had multiple cities? And there was a rumor that this project was actually a little bit more ambitious than it seemingly is. That they were actually going to have multiple cities in GTA 6. And it was called Project Americas. But that got scrapped because apparently this game has been rebooted internally. I forgot what year, 2018 or some shit like that. Now, again, is any of that true? We just don't know yet. But with that said, apparently this game at a certain point in time was supposed to be much more ambitious and bigger than maybe it currently is. And it was titled Project Americas, implying that, well, yeah, maybe you can get on the plane and go to Liberty City or go to San Andreas and have all three cities within the game. And, you know, for the online aspect, I think that could be very interesting. I don't know about the single player, but, you know, in San Andreas, there is a mission in San Andreas where you do go back to Liberty City, I believe, right? You know, CJ gets on the plane. This is a PS2 fucking game, right? CJ gets back on the plane. Now, granted, I don't think it's the whole fucking, can't remember. But, you know, I think it's a slice of Liberty City within San Andreas. So, you know, and you know, they might have that here. You know, we don't know. You know, there could be a sliver of Liberty City in this, or San Andreas. You know, maybe Jason moves to Vice City, and we start at Liberty City or something, and then, you know, because how do they connect? We don't know. You know, there's just a lot of question marks. So obviously, you know, it's hard to discuss this game because there's still a lot of question marks. But with what they're showing us right now, you know, is there really a reason to get super, super excited when this game is seemingly bringing nothing new to the table? You can't name one thing that this game is bringing new to the table. Name one thing that this game is bringing new to the table. I just don't know what it is. What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? Can you name one thing? Can you name one thing? What is this game bringing new to the table?
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
What is this game bringing new to the table? What is this game bringing new to the table? This is lazy. I am... Oh my God. Right here. Okay. You know what? You can't... Imagine making a game and just not innovating at all. Imagine making a game and just not innovating at all, because you don't have to. You know, this is a $1 billion franchise at this point. Was it a $1 billion franchise on the PS2? Gaming is more popular now than ever. Do you not understand that? Gaming has more exposure now than it did back in the fucking 90s and early 2000s. You know, now you got a bunch of a plethora of fake gamers that don't play games and they just watch other people play games. And, you know, there's just more content surrounding video games. And, you know, by the time this fucking releases, I mean, it's going to be even worse. You know, the Suicide Squad had the ending fucking posted before the goddamn game was even out. And everyone just jumped on that hate bandwagon, and it further escalated it to that point where it's like, fuck Rocksteady, fuck Rocksteady. Yet here's the thing. If you go to the Steam reviews right now for the Suicide Squad, it's actually positive. Now, I'm not sure if that's some fucking, some joke or whatever the fuck that is, them trying to be funny over on Steam. But nonetheless, it has positive reviews on Steam. So, it is what it is. But with this game here, this game has to bring something new to the table. And you can't name one thing outside of this social media aspect that this game is bringing new to the table. Because great graphics ain't counting. The game obviously should have great graphics. It's on modern fucking hardware. To expect it to not have great graphics would be ridiculous. So the social media aspect is going to have to be like the Radiant Quest in Skyrim. These are going to have to be randomly generated. They have the technology. They have the budget. They have, hopefully, the fucking manpower to make it happen. So you can't sit there and make excuses for a $2 billion game. You can't sit there and make excuses because ultimately, at the end of the day, that does not make sense. If Rockstar can't make it happen, then no one else can, and it is time to pack it up. The key players are gone over at Rockstar. No one in here cares. Yet that's going to be a talking point when the damn game releases if it sucks. The game isn't going to flop. There's no way in hell this game will flop. The game literally cannot flop. It is impossible for this game to flop. Because even if people on the internet say it's trash, people are going to go out and buy it anyway. Just like they do Madden. Madden is trash, right? That's what they tell you. Madden is the same football game, just a roster update for $70. Doesn't matter. People are going out and buying it. It's a top 10 seller every single fucking year. Probably top 5. Hogwarts Legacy was total trash. People went out and bought that garbage. Unreal Engine slop. You can't even do anything in Hogwarts. There's no classes. You can't even role play within the Hogwarts Academy. It's fucking trash. The game is garbage. Yet all the Harry Potter fanboys are like, "Oh my God, them graphics." That's all it took. So you just hire a bunch of artists to make the game look pretty and barely any functionality. There's no game anymore. It's just like some big fucking advertisement to sell the fucking brand. That's what these companies are doing now. They're like visual advertisements. It's not even a game anymore. There's no animations anymore. There's no attention to detail anymore. Outside of a few games. It's not a priority. And I'm not saying every old game was fucking great. I play a lot of old games because people are like, "Oh, the old games are better than the new games." And it's like, well, quite frankly, I'm not sure if that's entirely true. I mean, we have come a long way in terms of animations. The animations look a lot more realistic and believable than ever before. So you can't just sit there and say that the old games are better because you have nostalgia for them, because quite frankly, objectively, they are not as good as the current games that we have in terms of the animations and things like that. Even a low-budget game that has released in the last 5 years is going to have better animations than a game that came out on the PS2. I mean, that's just how it is. The technology has advanced and evolved to a point where, we're just at this point where these games look ultra-realistic. Unreal Engine was a virus. Okay. Trying to read one comment in here that is on the same path here, but no one is saying anything. We're talking about Last of Us 2. We're talking about a bunch of other stuff here. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find this. The GTA 6 channels were talking about this. It was called something, Animation AI. This was 5 days ago they were talking about this. And if this is in the game, this is going to help Take-Two AI patents will result in smarter NPCs in GTA 6. GTA 6 has patented a new locomotion system to make high dynamic and realistic animations. And that's what I'm saying. What if this isn't mocap? What if this is dynamic AI? See, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. This is what the game could be. The game could be a revolution. The game could be unlike anything we've ever seen before. What if this is truly dynamic and the actual Vice City and the people that live in Vice City are actually living, breathing, does that make sense? Let's click on this and see where it takes us. Here we go. Let's go ahead and read this and see if it makes sense. Let's go ahead and read this and see if it makes sense. Let's go ahead and read this and see if it makes sense here. Okay, this is apparently what people are talking about within the last few days. This is talking about some of this stuff. By way of example, a player character can have a first suit of animations consistent with character's default neutral behaviors. But as the game's story develops, the character might be put into situations where the default neutral behavior animation is not suitable. For example, at certain parts of the game, the character might have exerted a lot of energy and be tired. As a further example, the weather in the game environment might be rainy or cold, snowy. In these situations, to provide a more realistic game, the character's animations style could advantageously change to reflect these changed character states to provide a more realistic game system and method for virtual character locomotion pattern. Okay, well, that's a mouthful of technical jargon here. But let's go ahead. There's another thing here. Let's go ahead and pull this up here. And if the game has any of this stuff, then obviously it's going to be forward-thinking, at least in that regard. So that is exciting. But we don't know if any of this is going to be in the game. Could be for a future title. No. As another example, an older rundown neighborhood could be created by populating it with a higher proportion of assets tagged old, worn, torn down, rusty, cheap, etc. In-game play where the player is attempting to improve the city they live in. As the player performs well in the game engine can slowly replace the objects tagged as described, indicated with that neighbor is improving. Okay, that's already in Red Dead 2. I don't know what they're talking. From what I can understand there, that's already in Red Dead 2. If they're talking about improving the environments, that's already in Red Dead 2. In Red Dead 2, they're building certain things, and then as you progress the story, those eventually get built. But to me, that's not that impressive because it's just tethered to the story progression. So if you just kind of sit there and wait, the construction workers aren't really doing anything. And to me, I want it based in real time as opposed to story progression, because the story progression shit is boring. And if it has nothing to do with the story, then we need the stuff to be built in real time, within the in-game clock, not based off of how far you are in the chapter. That's boring to me. Because when you're looking at these NPCs pretending to build, that's all they're doing. They're pretending. They're not actually building the house within the game. And the normies think that that's actually happening, and it's not. And it's not detailed. I'm so sorry. I talked about this in 2018 when I talked about Red Dead Redemption 2, and I said Red Dead Redemption 2 is not a surprising game. Every element in Red Dead Redemption 2 was in a previous Rockstar title. One of the biggest assets of Red Dead Redemption 2 is you can talk to every NPC. Well, that's great on paper, but that was already in a game called Bully on the fucking PS2. The same exact system. No one played Bully, though, and all the normies that now played online, GTA Online, and Red Dead 2, they think they're Rockstar fans. They're fake Rockstar fans. They weren't there for any of the releases on PS2, so they're missing out on what was already there. So that's why Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't really bring anything new to the table outside of basically taking the first game and making things a little bit more realistic and slower and more mature and, a slow burn type of experience compared to the first game with a little bit more arcadey. So what they're describing there is basically already in the game. I'm not sure what that's all about. No, there's not going to be destructible environments. That's going to be too much on the engine. I mean, there might be some interior. I mean, they already did that in GTA 4. They had destructible interiors, but it wasn't that crazy. But if you're going into this expecting like Battlefield, Bad Company destruction or something like that, it just isn't happening. I mean, you have to understand that this is GTA, and in this climate. It's not going to go too far. Making a GTA game in this climate where everyone's overly sensitive and, comedians have to say, hey, you want to come see me at the comedy club? Well, you got to put your phone away in the pouch and, experience the bit that way because, you pull your phone out and record it and, if that joke is offensive, that comedian could get canceled. So, that's where we're at. So making a GTA game in this climate is almost impossible. the only way you can do it is water it down and just conform. That's the only way you can really do it, because if you get the woke mob after you, then quite frankly, it's already over. But then again, Rockstar's changed, The studio changed after 2020 or what have you. So it's a very different company. The frat boy culture is gone. They're no longer punching down. And you could argue, well, we're not seeing that in the trailer. Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, the game isn't out until 2025. I mean, this could go either way. And that's the exciting part here, is that, well, we just, there is still questions surrounding this game. If we knew everything about this game, then it would be even more fucking boring than it currently is. Yeah, and people are expecting a Red Dead Redemption 2 level of gore, and that's not happening. That is not happening. If you have those expectations right now, it's time to lower them, because you're not getting Red Dead Redemption 2 gore in this experience. It just is not happening. It just is not happening. You're not getting Red Dead Redemption 2 level of gore in this game. It just is not happening. That will be AO. And if it's AO, they can't, I don't think they can even fucking release the game. And that's what happened with Manhunt 2. They had to censor the hell out of Manhunt 2 because, they were already banning that game. Target, when Manhunt 2 came out in 2000, and what was it, 9 or 10? Target, they banned the game. They said they weren't selling the game at their store. So, and it's like, well, Manhunt 2, I mean, you can't even see what the hell you're doing in that game because Rockstar had to censor the shit out of it. Now, again, you can install mods and you can see the game without all the effects. But with that said, that's what had to happen with Manhunt 2.
It's over!
Is by sticking together.
Mike Super chatted $5. Realistic graphics can give a good first impression, but things like mission design and physics become secondary and makes the game trash.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And to be fair, Rockstar doesn't put out gameplay. We don't get gameplay ever. I mean, even close to release, there was no Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay, and even when they showed a little bit of gameplay, it was a snippet of gameplay. So you're not getting gameplay for this experience until this fucking thing comes out or it leaks. I mean, we've already gotten gameplay, but that's alpha and what have you. So we just don't know. Obviously the game leaked a couple of years ago, but with that said, we just don't have. We don't know how this game is going to play out. We don't know. There's just a lot of questions. You can look at the leaked gameplay and say, well, yeah, it is next level. You can go prone in this game. That's the first for GTA. You can get on the ground and crawl. Now, is that going to make it into the final game? We just don't know. We just don't know. To what extent do we have here? Is this just a Red Dead 2 reskin for GTA? Is that really what they're going to do? They're never going to release another Manhunt game. See, that's what you're not understanding. If you think that they're ever going to release another Manhunt game, you're an idiot. You don't understand that Rockstar is a different company now. How hard is that to wrap your head around? Rockstar is a very different company now. The Rockstar that made the Warriors, the Rockstar that made Manhunt 1 and 2, the Rockstar that made GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, GTA 4, hell, even GTA 5. I mean, things have changed. It's been 12 years, 11 years actually. It's been 11 years since GTA 5. That's over a decade. The key talent is gone. Not everyone, but the key talent is gone. And the narrative will change if this game does not live up to expectations. You have 12 years of expectations to live up to. You have 12 years of expectations to live up to. You have to have endless content basically within this story campaign. That's what you have to have. You could sit there and say, oh, the only thing that Rockstar cares about is the online, and sure, that's going to be the biggest priority, no doubt about it. Why wouldn't they make that the priority? But at the end of the day, you're also going to have to please the roots of what took this franchise and put it on the map, and that's the single-player campaign. That's all the game was at one point. There was no multiplayer in this shit. So, Yes, yes. Aaron Garbett is still there. However you pronounce his name, but I'm pretty sure he's just an artist. So now I'm not undermining his contributions, but I'm just saying. I mean, he's basically. I mean, unless I'm wrong, he's basically just kind of he's mainly in charge of the aesthetic of the game. So yeah, he's an OG. He's been there since GTA 3, I believe. I'm not saying all the devs are gone, but basically you're going to have to look at Red Dead 2, and a lot of the people that made Red Dead 2 are seemingly working on this title here. Yeah, Sam Hauser's still there. We understand that. So I'm not saying it's going to be garbage just because everyone, well, not everyone, but a big portion of the team left. But you also have to understand that it could go either way at this point. And if you're going to say the Suicide Squad is trash because the co-founders left, then I think that's going to have an impact over here with GTA 6 in certain areas. Now, when they remove certain minigames or certain quests or certain things, then don't cry because we told you that was more than likely going to be the case and you didn't want to listen. Watch Dogs 2 is more revolutionary than any GTA game, but fake gamers are not ready for that conversation. No, they're not. But if Rockstar made that game, they'd be praising it to the fucking moon and back. Because what Watch Dogs 2 has is a reaction system, so the NPCs actually react. They have mood swings. They tried, and I don't think the system is perfect. But you do have a Radiant AI system kind of basically built into the game. So it's basically like Red Dead 2 before Red Dead 2. And,
It's over!
Mike Super chatted $5. The Getaway PS2 looked great for the time, better than GTA, but the gameplay was awful and convoluted, style over substance like most games nowadays.
Yeah, well, the Getaway's an early PS2 game, so I mean, cut it some slack there. I mean, but it was innovative. I mean, you could argue style over substance, but at the same time, you have to look at the gameplay mechanics and what that brought to the table. It still has yet to be done. I mean, when you heal in that game, you have to find kind of cover, and the character will like hunch up against the wall and recover that way. And I think that's a lot better than just regenerating health like a fucking fantasy game. You know what I mean? And the way you traverse throughout the world is actually innovative as hell. You look at the turn signals on the car. So you have to look at the back of the turn signals to figure out where to go in the game. There's no HUD. There is no HUD on that game. So it's a very forward-thinking game, and it came out before its time. They innovated a little too soon, and as such, well, it didn't pay off because they were ahead of the curve. They were ahead of the curve. I don't care about any of what you're talking about. I already told you guys. I said, look, to me, it's more important to bring something new to the table than some of the modern themes that are no doubt going to plague this game. I don't really care. Okay, every game is going to be the W word. That's just how it is. Every game has woke themes. I mean, that's what you need to know and understand. I don't know why we're still getting mad over that. That's just some talking point for a bunch of grifters. Okay, because at the end of the day, you're just going to have to accept it. It's a part of the checklist of what needs to be in a video game in 2024 and beyond. It's got to have woke themes. There you go. But, to me, that doesn't matter. What's more important to me is kind of the game design and kind of the philosophy of the game and what we're doing in the game.
It's over!
And things of that nature. Things of that nature. So, but you can't argue.
FEMA 1994 MLD Super Chatted SAR 19.99.
That's what we're talking about. 1994 coming through. All right, it might be that time to wrap it up. I'm looking at the chat here, and you guys have nothing to say. So we're going to probably wrap this one up here shortly. I mean, I would continue. We still got plenty of battery, but, you know, there's only so much we can say. As no one wants to have a conversation about this game because for some reason I'm the weirdo. But here's the thing. They were already trying to cancel GTA 4. Let me see if I can show you this. This was back before the trailer came out for GTA 6. And they were basically saying that GTA 4 was too violent. Let's see if we can figure this one out. See where this is. Well, we have this here. And, you know, like I said earlier, this is what happened here in the enhanced and expanded edition of GTA 5. They censored their game. Okay, they censored their game. Like, you know, it's a video game. You know, I just don't understand. Because you have two arguments. You have an argument that says, oh, it's just a video game. It's not real. It doesn't matter. The violence isn't having any impact on the user. And then you also have this other crowd that says they pretend to agree with that. And then when things don't align with their perspective, they get mad and upset. And they say, no, wait a minute. You know, this doesn't need to be in the game. So what Rockstar did is they went back in for the PS5 re-release of GTA 5 like 2 years ago, and they cut out the NPCs that were deemed offensive, and not only that, but the dialogue associated, because Michael, Trevor, and Franklin had dialogue that was punching down. And someone over at Rockstar made the decision to go back in and take all of that out, because we're all in favor for censorship, right? You know, I could see GTA 6 not having any of this in there. That's one thing. But going back into GTA 5 and removing things and censoring things and cutting things out because, well, we don't want to get canceled and we have to answer to, you know, it's ridiculous. But, you know, so the conversation is that it's a video game and that violent video games, violent video games don't have an impact. But that couldn't be, that's not what you think, because clearly this is having an impact on you in a certain extent if you are offended by the damn game. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. But no one in here is ready to have this conversation truly. You can't sit there and say that you're against censorship when you sit there and you praise this, because it's satire. They're punching down on everyone and anyone, and yet now it's a problem. So you can't make GTA 6 anymore. You know, it's like the comedy club. You want to go see Kevin Hart? Guess what? Well, you got to put your phone in the pouch. You can't be on your phone during the show. They don't allow that. Because, you know, that's how they have to do the show in this climate. And it's sad, but it is what it is. You know, that's the reality of it. You know, you want raunchy jokes, you want jokes that are somewhat offensive or what have you, part of the entertainment, right? But people can't, they can't decipher that. So they get offended, they get mad, they get really stupid. And, you know, censoring your own satire, censoring your own video game is just a way to say, yes, we've bent the knee and, you know, we're done. So it's trash. But people are going to defend that and say that was the right thing to do. And maybe it was. I don't know. But it also shows weakness, I'll tell you that. It also shows weakness from Rockstar or Take-Two, whoever made the decision. We're trying to find something else, though. That wasn't really what I wanted to show you. Here we go. Here's another article here. Rockstar is reportedly aiming to be a more progressive and compassionate workplace. So, you know, not only that, the talent's gone. Some of the veterans are gone at Rockstar. We've been over that multiple times. But again, the studio has made changes. Become more progressive and compassionate workplace, okay? What does that entirely mean? Well, you know, that's up for interpretation. We don't work at Rockstar, so we don't necessarily know. But with that said, that could be a part of why certain folk have left over at Rockstar Games. So it's just, I don't know what to tell you guys, but hard to be hyped for this one. Obviously, we're still looking forward to it, and we'll be there day one regardless of quality because it's Rockstar. And, you know, it's a different Rockstar, but it's still Rockstar, by name anyway. And we'll be there day one, but at the end of the day, it is hard to jump up and down. It is hard to get excited because this could go either way. We just don't know how this one's going to turn out. And what I was looking for, I cannot seem to find here. But they were basically complaining about, let me show you what they were complaining about. They were saying this scene in GTA, and it's not even a mission, it's just something you can do in the open world. They were saying that this was too offensive. It was too violent, and if you play the game like this, you were a degenerate, you were a loser, you were an incel. And, you know, well, Rockstar has taken this out. In GTA 5, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can't just go into interiors. And it's so funny to me because, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2, it doesn't make sense. It's the fucking Wild West. It's like 1889 or some bullshit like that. And it's like, why are, you know, it's the fucking Wild West, you know? But nonetheless, there was a conversation back, this went viral, you know, back in November or something before the trailer came out for GTA 6. And people are saying this is way too violent. How dare you play the game like this? And, you know, so, you know, one hand they were saying, oh, video games don't, you know, Jack Thompson was wrong. Jack Thompson was wrong. Video games don't have an impact on the user, and these violent video games have no impact on the user whatsoever. And then they also argue against their own point and say, no, wait a minute, this is, you know, it's like the body cam stuff. The body cam craze, these ultra-realistic looking, photorealistic, Unreal Engine, you know, they're getting mad over those games and saying, oh, wait a minute, this is too realistic. Well, then I thought, wait a minute, violent video games, I thought this wasn't a concern. Now it is because it's, quote, too realistic? Now you're backing up and you're a hypocrite because you're going against your own stance. You can't just sit there and say and put your foot in the ground and say, well, wait a minute, no, violent video games doesn't have an impact on the user when you're going against your own word by saying that this is nasty and this is disgusting and this should not be in the game. It's a fucking video game, you know. But again, no one believes that. So they're really with Jack Thompson, you know. And if you've been around, you know who Jack Thompson is. And quite frankly, he would have a field day with all of the shit that's happening now. And it might be time for Jack Thompson to come out of retirement and you know, speak his mind at the very least, because it's just like, well, you know, now you have more people that are in agreement with that, yeah, violent video games are not healthy, and violent video games could very well lead to, you know, I don't know what to tell you. No, you can't. You can't do that in Red Dead 2. I don't know. No, you can't. The game limits what you can do because they don't want to hear about it. You know, and GTA 6 is going to be more. But here's the thing. In Watch Dogs 2, there's no limitations like this. And Watch Dogs 2 came out after GTA 5. So it's okay for Ubisoft to do whatever. You know, they give the player freedom. You can do whatever the fuck you want in the game. And there's no problems there. But all of a sudden, GTA gets slack because I guess it's actually popular and no one gives a shit about Ubisoft. And that's why the game sucked, because they got too popular. You know, that's the problem. So now that they do have to cater and pander, they do have to censor things that are deemed offensive, and you know, it's a different work environment now. And is that going to hit back the game? Absolutely. I'll be very surprised if the game is any bit sort of, you know, I'll be very surprised and shocked if this game actually has balls in certain aspects, because I don't think it will. I think they're going to play it safe because they don't want to hear about it. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. You're not following the conversation in here, and that's not a surprise. Very few people can follow the conversation. I'm speaking plain American English, and yet you can't follow that. So I don't know what to tell you. It's a very normal conversation out here, and you can't contribute to it. You want to come in here and just make up a bunch of cool, stupid, silly shit that isn't true. You cannot do that in Red Dead 2. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You can't just do that in Red Dead 2. I played it. I know. With mods you can, but not the base game. Not the base game. We don't hear about Jack Thompson anymore because they canceled him and he lost his, I don't remember what happened, but he got out of it, I guess, or something. I don't know. But quite frankly, he should come back or at least share his opinion because, we need Jack Thompson more than ever. And they were trying to say that this was too violent. And no one in here has an opinion on this because you don't want to get canceled right either. I don't give a shit. It's a fucking video game. If you're a pussy, then don't buy it. It says M for mature on the fucking box. You have to be 18 or older to buy the damn game. Oh, wait, you don't have to do that anymore because they don't sell physical games. So, you can go to the PlayStation Store and just buy whatever. I don't know. But at the store, usually they would, because I remember back in the day, like it would pop up on the register and say, is the customer 18 or over or whatever to buy this M for mature game? They would not sell it to you if the employee cared. And that's just how it worked. Yeah, we understand that the chat is asleep, and that's why this show fucking sucks, because the chat is so fucking dead. That's why I said please share the stream elsewhere. Please get people in here that want to communicate. Because I'm ready to have this discussion. But you guys cannot follow it. I'm out here talking to myself again and again and again. Again and again and again. Again and again and again. Not one person has an opinion on this. Not one person has a stance on this. Not reading that paragraph. I don't want to read a whole fucking novel in here. And we're going to wrap this up here shortly because you guys are falling asleep. So we're going to be wrapping this up here shortly. So within the next 5 minutes, we're out. We're going to be wrapping this one up. We almost hit the 2-hour mark. We'll come back with Persona or some shit like that. And we'll see how ultimately the cookie crumbles. Well, they don't care. Sad. They don't care. Well, you guys don't leave paragraphs in other people's chats, so I go to other chats. There's never a paragraph in other chats. It's a very weird, odd phenomenon in here. Because they see the chat's not moving, so they write a whole novel about how the game's trash, about how the game is this, that, and the third. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's read what Ryan Curtis had to say. He's the only guy who can form a sentence in this. In here. It's not a medium's responsibility to coach people on how to not be an asshole. If you need that, you're... Exactly. But that's not... I mean, I'm really talking about a certain... I mean, this is not in the game anymore. You can't do this in Red Dead 2. You can't do this in GTA 5. I don't know what you want me to say, but clearly it ain't clicking. So, I mean, if you can't look at the picture and see what it shows, then I don't know what to tell you. But just know that it's not, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's a game, but it's also not a game. Because, the same people that were saying Jack Thompson's a loser, Jack Thompson this, that, and the third, are now basically agreeing with him when the game gets too photorealistic. When the game gets too photorealistic, they get worked up and they say, wait a minute, this is too realistic. And they need to cancel the game. It's going to have a nasty impact. The body cam game where it looks like you're actually looking at GoPro footage from a they're saying that that's too realistic and that needs to be I don't know. No, you're not understanding what I'm talking about. When you go into interiors in modern Rockstar games, the gameplay changes. It's as simple as that. Now, maybe most of you guys are used to playing these modded versions of these games. I don't know. It seems like that's the case because you're not remembering. In GTA 5, when you walk into an interior, the gameplay changes. In GTA 4, the gameplay does not change. Nothing changes when you walk into an interior in GTA 4. It's the last game where Rockstar had some balls, and here you go, right? And they had controversy, way before that with San Andreas and all of that. So, when you walk into an interior in the modern Rockstar games, in GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, hell, maybe the first, I don't know if it's the first Red Dead Redemption, but I know certainly the second Red Dead Redemption. And I'm going to assume the first Red Dead Redemption has this problem as well, but I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't. That might be the last game where you could, and if you just look at Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2, when you walk into an interior, it's different. The game changes. You don't have freedom. They took that away because, I don't know how to explain this to you when, firstly, you don't want to listen, and secondly, you don't care. So when you go buy a CD, well, no one does that anymore, but if you went and bought a CD and it were censored, the lyrics were muted, you wouldn't be mad, and you paid the same price for it? Yeah, you would be pissed. Basically, the question is, are you in favor of censorship? And I think a lot of people in here are. I think a lot of people don't give a shit. A lot of people love censorship. They want their media to be watered down. They want their media to be fucking censored. Why don't we just go back and censor all those old movies that were offensive and all that shit too, right? Because that's what's happening anyway. And you subscribe to all these fucking subscription services that are already doing that. They're not keeping the old fucking media intact. If it's deemed offensive, they're going back and they're fucking changing it up. And you guys love it. You guys secretly fucking love it. Well, you don't care. That's the problem. You just don't care. Disney went back and they had some, when Disney Plus launched, they had to go back and ensure that the old Disney films were, caught up to the modern era. And as such, they had to go back and censor things and take things out. And that's not true. You're just not, it's not true. I can play Red Dead 2 tonight and show you that that's not true. You can't just do what you want to do in interiors in Red Dead 2. You have to do a certain thing. You have to go target the NPC, and then there's an option to do it. You can't just pull it out. That's not how it works. In Red Dead 1, you could, I believe. You can't do that anymore. Rockstar has changed everything, and it's going to get only worse in GTA 6. Well, here's the thing. In Watch Dogs 2, it's not a problem. So Ubisoft didn't give a shit, and they, in Watch Dogs 2, it's not a problem. Nothing changes. The gameplay does not change. When you go into interiors in new Rockstar games, literally things change in terms of the gameplay experience. When you open up your inventory, things change. When you walk into the unicorn place in GTA 5, you can't argue it because you're wrong. You can't argue it because you're wrong. It's as simple as that. You don't play the game. You just want to sit out here and argue something that you're just not correct about. I played all of these games, and you don't want to have this conversation. I do not care. If you're in favor for censorship, that's fine. That's not I don't care. But you can't claim to be on the side of anti-censorship and then sit there and praise these games when they're doing exactly that. If Ubisoft isn't censoring them, why is Rockstar? Because Rockstar probably has a different responsibility because millions and millions of people play their games as opposed to 5 people that play those Ubisoft games. That's the reason. No one's going to fuss about Watch Dogs because no one gives a shit about that franchise. You see how that works? It's not a lie. You're the liar. Okay, I played Red Dead Redemption 2. When you walk into an interior in Red Dead Redemption 2, the gameplay fundamentally changes. Yes, you can still do what you're thinking of, but you have to do it in a specific way. You can't just do what you want to do. You can't even run in the interiors. The gameplay changes fundamentally when you go into interiors in modern Rockstar games. How you can't see that is beyond me. In GTA 4, This is the last game, and maybe Red Dead Redemption 1, I can't remember. But I know for sure in GTA 4, you can run in the interiors. You can't even fucking move fast in the interiors in these modern Rockstar games. You got to move at a slower pace. The gameplay changes. You start walking slower, and the inventory, nothing pops up in the inventory, and then you got to go to this. So you're inherently wrong, and you just want to sit there and argue. And I'm not having that. I'm not having that because you're wrong. I know. I played these games. You're wrong. No, you can't. No, you can't. And no one in here is going to defend me because they don't play games and they don't know what we're talking about. When you go into the Vanilla Unicorn in GTA 5, the gameplay fundamentally changes. You are wrong. You can't do what you're saying. You can do it with mods. You cannot do what you're saying. You cannot do what you're saying. You cannot do what you can do in GTA 4. Okay? They have censored their own game. In 2013, they censored the shit out of it. And you don't care. Because I guess in your eyes, this shit does matter. Violent video. Jack Thompson was right. Violent video games is cancer. Because that's what you're essentially agreeing with. You're agreeing with this idea, this notion that yes, violent video games is inherently bad and is a cancer to the society. Nope, because you're not understanding what I'm talking about. I didn't say that. I said the gameplay changes. That's what I said, and that is a fact. You can still do it, but you're not. I'm ending the conversation here because you're trying to bait. That's what you're doing. You're trying to bait. You're trying to bait. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not taking the bait, bud. I'm not taking the bait. You're trying to bait, and no one in here is going to back me up because they don't play video games. But you're objectively not correct. Okay, when you walk into interiors in GTA 5, you can no longer run. Your inventory changes. Okay, you can't sit there and disagree because you are wrong. Okay, if you have mods on the game, that's different. But the vanilla experience, and I can go play these games tonight. I don't care. But I'm not going to prove my point because I don't need to. I know I'm right, and I played all of these games, and I know that GTA 4 was the last game where they had some fucking balls. Because when you go into interiors in GTA 4, the gameplay does not change. Nothing changes. It's as if you were outside. When you go into interiors, nothing changes. It's all in real time. There's no fucking animation sequence where things slow down, and none of that happens, okay? So Rockstar censored in 2013, and I don't know about Red Dead Redemption 1. I think the gameplay might have changed as well on that, but maybe not. So it's either GTA 4 or Red Dead Redemption 1 was the cutoff point, and then from there on out, things changed. And, you could argue, oh, that who cares, it doesn't matter. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm tired of this chat. I'm just so tired of it. Everyone wants to play contrarian and fucking bait and just nasty. That's what it is, nasty. It's just ridiculous. It's a waste of my time. You can't have single conversations about anything in here. It's like I don't like you're drinking some sort of fucking Kool-Aid that prevents you from communicating effectively, efficiently. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You want to sit there and act like you know a thing or two about games and you don't. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't play video games. You came from 4Channel or some fucking weird thing, and you came over here and you're not a gamer. Okay, you're not a gamer. You're here to troll. You're here to do whatever. Okay, you're not a gamer. I can fucking tell. I fucking played all of these games when they released. So that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Let's play this trailer out, and then we're going to get out of here. And maybe we'll come back with the game later tonight. Not entirely sure. We'll see.
Being a team. Trust.
Trust.
There you have it, 2025. So guess we're going to have to wait and see on what Rockstar ultimately does. But with that said, that's going to do it for now. We do appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show. And with that said, we will see you later. It's over.